Viva Barotse!
Viva!
Viva Barotse!
Viva!
Barotse Nationalist Youth Alliance, 21st January 2024. Press statement. Warm greetings to the beautiful, civilized and peaceful people of Barotse Kingdom and all the civilized nations. We, the offsprings of those who possessed Barotse Kingdom, are gathered here today to respond to Mr. Hakainde Hichilema's statement he made on 18th January 2024. In his statement, he said that 1. There is no country called Western Province or Barotse. 2. He further said that Zambia is a unitary state. First and foremost, we want to advise Mr. Sami Hichilema to humble himself. He is not God. He speaks like some people who used to say that Hakainde will never be a president of Zambia, but today he is. May God forgive Sami Hichilema because he doesn't know what he is doing. Barotse is our inheritance and not Zambia. Mr. Hakainde Hichilema should just concentrate on reducing the price of milling to 50 kwacha, which he used to champion during his campaign promises. What Mr. Hakainde Hichilema should know is that Barotse existed as an independent territory before 1964. To say that Barotse Kingdom does not exist is cheap politics. Is Mr. Hakainde telling us that His Royal Highness Chitimukuru Kanyandamanga II of the Bemba-speaking people was dreaming when he addressed the Litunga of Barotse as King of Barotse and not Western Province? The statement by Mr. Hakainde Hichilema clearly shows that he is on a serious move of colonizing and destroying Barotse Kingdom. That is why he has sent his troops to Barotse Kingdom. Dear Barotse nationals, colonialism is a policy of controlling others. The terminology has nothing to do with whites or Europeans. Barotse is experiencing black-to-black colonialism, which is more pernicious. We have rejected it. I repeat, we have rejected colonialism. Barotse and Northern Rhodesia were not one territory. The definition of Northern Rhodesia was provided by the Buxton Commission report of 1922. The contemporary history of our territory starts in 1864, before Zambia was born. The following can bear witness to the existence of our country, territory, and state. 1. King Leopold of Belgium. 2. Queen Victoria I of Great Britain. 3. King Charles of Great Britain. 4. King Manuel I of Portugal. 5. King Emmanuel III of Italy. Barotse Kingdom was a British protectorate with well-defined boundaries, which were drawn in 1891 together with those of Angola and Malawi. The border dispute between Barotse and Angola was settled in 1905 by arbitration. Zambia was not yet in existence. By 1964, those whites who protected Barotse left. So the principle of post-liminium was expected to apply to Barotse territory, but instead, the British Crown Colony of Northern Rhodesia and Barotse Protectorate were made to enter into agreement witnessed by the British government. The Barotse Agreement 1964 referred to the powers of the Litunga of Barotse in the territory of Barotse. I repeat, the Barotse Agreement 1964 referred to the powers of the Litunga of Barotse in the territory of Barotse. He was a sovereign ruler, and the agreement on Article 4, Clause 3 states, I quote, "The Litunga of Barotse, not Western Province, acting after consultation with his council, shall be authorized and empowered to make laws for Barotse in relation to itemized areas stated on page 5 of the Barotse Agreement, including Barotse Bank." This means republicanism would not be extended to Barotse territory. Viva Barotse!
Viva!
Viva Barotse!
Viva!
By the agreement of 1964, Zambia inherited the obligations of Her Majesty the Queen of Britain. However, the Barotse Agreement did not enter into force in 1964. Instead, it was terminated by the Zambian government. With the termination of the Barotse Agreement by Zambia, no lawyer or member of executive worth his salt can claim that Zambia still has any obligations over Barotse Kingdom in this age, 2024. Viva Lwosi Mwiko!
Viva!
Viva Lwosi Mwiko!
Viva!
Viva Mkela Manyando!
Viva!
Yes. Zambians should know that the law of contract. Zambians should know that under the law of contract, one cannot terminate the contract agreement and at the same time continue to enjoy the privileges and rights contained in a contract agreement you terminated. I repeat, Zambians should know that under the law of contract, one cannot terminate the contract agreement at the same time continue to enjoy the privileges and rights contained in a contract agreement you terminated.
Well clear.
Mr. Sami Hichilema also talked about Zambia being a unitary state. On this one, we advise our beloved Barotse nationals not to be fooled by Article 4, Clause 3 of the Constitution of Zambia, which states that Zambia is a unitary state. Please put it aside. It has nothing to do with Barotse. It was enacted after the termination of the Barotse Agreement in 1964 with the sole purpose of coverting. Viva Barotse!
Viva!
Viva Barotse!
Viva!
Bohakainde should know that the Barotse Agreement in 1964 preceded any law in Zambia. I repeat, Bohakainde should know that the Barotse Agreement in 1964 preceded any law in Zambia. We conclude by advising Mr. Hichilema and Zambians that the existence of Barotse Kingdom as an independent territory does not depend on the permission of the Zambian government or Zambians. We don't need to seek permission from Zambia. All we need is self-realization. Barotse case or the Barotse Agreement is covered by international law and not Zambian laws. We finally call upon the British government. This is very important. Very, very important. We finally call upon the British government and the Commonwealth, who appended their signatures on the Barotse Agreement of 1964, to come out in the open and explain to the whole world the facts about the Barotse Agreement in 1964. We are tired and sick of being mentally and physically tortured by security forces of Zambia. Currently, Barotse is flooded by the Zambian troops in a bid to silence us.
We have the supported documents which can tell that what we are talking about is not irrelevant. This is the United Nations which entered into the agreement in 1905 concerning the boundaries and the borders of Barotse. So, Mr. HH doesn't understand necessarily what it means. Because the formation of this country,
it doesn't understand it.
It doesn't understand it very well. If you understand, you couldn't have mentioned about it, about the unitary state he talked of. The formation of this country is based on these documents. And we all have the documents and we know all that there is boundaries which makes Barotse a free state and the kingdom on its own. And we have the rights to be a nation as we were before. We urge all the Barotse nations to stand and stand for the truth. Let us stand for it.
We wish to warn the New Dawn government as Barotse youths will not take any kind of silly statements from the president of Zambia, where indicated that the Barotse is not in existence. We want to tell him that Barotse is existing and shall never die. Further, we are not even intimidated by bringing these choppers, jets, police officers flooding all over the streets of Mungu and Barotse. Those, they are just oil to us so that we can continue doing whatever we are doing. That it gives us determination that what we are doing, the government is facing pressure from us. So we'll continue to bring pressure. So Malozi, let's stand together to fight what belongs to us. Thank you.
Viva Barotse!
Viva!
Viva Barotse!
Viva!
Viva Lwosi Mwiko too!
Viva!
Thank you very much. May the Almighty God bless our King, His Majesty Lwosi Mwiko too, and Barotse Kingdom. Barotse exists and it will be there until the end of the world.
Long live the King of Barotse.
Long live.